Hello and welcome back to the DoneDeal YouTube channel. My name is David OC and today we're joined by Irish Continental Tire's Car of the Year this year, the Kia EV6. This is one I've been really looking forward to driving. It's got a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery. It's priced at about 50,000 euros. It's got over 500 kilometer range, so it's going to be a good one. And one man who actually said this car was his favourite electric car ever was Bob Flavin. Bob, how are you?
Just thought I'd drop in, I heard my name mentioned.
Out of the blue. So Bob, you have loved the EV6. You've done, I think, over 1,000 kilometers you said in it.
Yep, I have.
How's it been?
It's everything it's actually much bigger than it looks. You know, physically, I'm sure on screen it looks big, but actually in the physicality of the car, it's very big. So
it's Range Rover Sport size-wise. Genuinely, that's not me making that up. That's actually kind of a stat.
Yeah, but it's very long, very wide, but easy to fit 5 people, and it's a proper family car. You forget it's electric, right? If you drive it enough, you begin to forget it. I know you still have to plug it in now, but you just begin to forget, but that long range is very good.
Well, let's take a look at it. In terms of styling, I agree, it's probably one of the best looking cars out there.
Yep. Looks like something came out of Blade Runner.
It is.
If it flew, you wouldn't really be worried. If it took off, you would never really pay attention to it.
Here's some wings. It's like a little bit of a Batmobile almost. It's very movie friendly. Door handles, really like these. Again, we're seeing these in a lot of cars. You see it in Teslas, you see it in the Ioniq 5. It's very nice and easy to open. This one is the GT line, so it's got some bigger 20-inch alloys, panoramic sunroof, driver heads-up display.
It's the one I'd buy now. I would buy the GT line one. I know there's another. You could save a few pounds by buying the other.
There's the Earth, which is about 50,000 euros, but only for about another 4,500 euros you're getting the GT line.
Glass roof is worth it.
Yeah, it is alone. In some manufacturers you actually pay about $2,000 for that alone. So it is gorgeous. Now my favourite angle is the rear, Bob. It looks fantastic. The light shining up above. It's just different.
Plus there's lights back there that don't look like lights. If you know what I mean. They look like strips of plastic, but they're actually the indicator or the reversing light or something on the back of it. So there's some very cool little touches on the back. The rear end of this has absolutely all the coolest little details in the world, but one of the coolest features is the charge port, which opens up like this, which is kind of cool. DC and AC charging on this one, obviously, and it has a fast charge capability, right?
Insane fast charge, 250 kilowatts. So technically, if we had the charge in Ireland, you could go from 10 to 80% or 90% in, I think, like 18 minutes. Phenomenal speed.
That's the kind of stuff you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need a charger ESP.
It also future-proofs the car a little bit more because I think down the line, a lot of cars are going to have that type of charging capability.
It's worth checking out as well when you're buying from any dealer, no matter what the car is, what the fastest charge you can do, because a lot of them are restricted to 100 kilowatts, which means it's going to be a longer, no matter how fast the charger is, it's still going to be stuck at 100. Cool way of closing it too.
Now, the boot. So under here, we have 520 litres, electronic tailgate, comes as standard.
It's on these.
It is quite practical in here, to be fair. You've loads of little tie down points. You can fold the seats from here. Under here you've got storage for your charging cables.
Under that again.
Yeah, there's 2 layers here. I reckon it could fit a human, Bob.
We'll have to put that to the test.
So one of my greatest fears is always, will this stop?
Oh, we'll wait now. We'll find out in a minute.
You get nice and low, Bob.
This doesn't stop. I hope I'm insured. Bye now. I'm going to lose my legs now. Sorry, kids. Oh my God. You better stop. Oh, thank God. It stopped. I didn't even feel the pressure on it. It was okay. It did actually stop. That's pretty good, actually.
So, safe, practical.
So your kids are safe?
Yeah.
In a Kia?
All right, okay.
In the boot of a Kia?
Don't put them there, though.
No, no.
Anyway, we go check out the inside and then take her for a drive.
Yeah. So rear seat space is actually big. These are big cars with big flat floors in them as well. So there's nothing to stop feet going anywhere in here. The floor is a little higher in these because there's a battery pack underneath them. Other than that, you don't need to notice it. In the back of each of the seats is USB-C. There's no vents back here, which is unusual to see in these cars. You've also got a big armrest in the center, which transforms from being a cup holder in the front to being a phone holder when you push that back as well. And all these seats go flat, so you can turn this into a full-size van. There's more room back here for a family than most of the other 5-door hatchbacks on the market. And for a 5-door hatchback, there's actually heated seats in the rear of this as well.
On the interior of the EV6, I mean, it's a lovely place to sit. There's all these nice little touches, like watch what happens when I turn the ignition on. My seat gets brought into its preferred position. Now we've a few bleeps going on because the passenger door is open to get the camera in, but in terms of storage, let's begin. So you've got a glove box there, you've got some drink holders, wireless charging, a little bit more storage in there. It's actually quite deep. Door card, so it is good in terms of storage. And then in terms of the seating position, well, it's completely adjustable. You can maneuver in any way you like. I do have it in the lowest position, and I still do find it quite a little bit high, so maybe if you're taller that might be a bit of a nuisance. But overall in here, it's glorious. Steering wheel, so it's a 2-spoke steering wheel, which means you can kind of rest your hand like that on a long drive, which I love. And then you've got 2 massive big displays here, and they kind of curve into one another to create this massive, really futuristic screen in front of you. And it's got everything you could need. So you've got your satellite navigation, your radio, your Bluetooth. It is of course Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. However, you need a wire for that. So that's maybe one little tick against it. It would be nice to have it wireless. It's just a little bit easier to use. Then you've got everything else you could ever want to need. You can control your driving data. You can see how much range you have left, where the nearest charges are. It's very, very good like that. There's also some shortcuts down here which take you quickly to the radio or quickly to your maps, which is really nice. Under here you also have a bit more storage, and I like that Kia have done this. So basically they've got a USB charger and a USB-C charger, and on top of that they've also got a 12-volt socket. So no matter what way you want to charge your phone, Kia allow it. So overall I think the cockpit in here is just as lovely as it gets, and part of the GT line is you get things like this panoramic sunroof which opens. It's really nice on a nice summer's day. So Bob, you've spent a huge amount of time behind the wheel of the EV6. What are the standout things to you?
Well, one of the main things, we keep trying to sell electric cars based upon the range, right? Yeah. So we mention ranges, or the car company does, but they're the max ranges. So if you want to go far, you drive slower. That's like the given. People just don't get that. They think they can get into the car and drive it. It's 120 kilometers an hour. It'll do 500 kilometers an hour. No car will do it. So it was the range. But in this, the big thing that I keep reminding myself of is just pure comfort. The seats are huge, and you just sit back and relax and enjoy the view. Now that I'm the passenger, of course. Yeah,
well now you're a complete passenger. First kind of impressions, now I have been driving it for a few days. I do find the regenerative braking really good. So these paddles here, you can actually put it into iPedal mode, and then it's one pedal driving. It'll come to a complete halt. I'm not going to do it now, I'm on the road, but that's really, really impressive. And then
you get used to that after a while as well. You learn to drive without using the friction brakes at all.
I get back into my own car, which is also automatic with petrol, and I nearly go through the red light afterwards. But yeah, and then it's got all your usual creature comforts. Heated steering wheels on right now. You were saying you might turn on the cooled seats.
Heated and cooled seats, both,
It's really.
And then you have this little screen here that's 2 screens. You press that and you get your temperature controls, you get the sat nav controls.
It's very, very handy.
It's very clever.
It is.
It still has physical buttons and things inside. This software is really easy to use as well.
Yeah.
A lot of them are overcomplicated.
And then power, it's over 200 horsepower. Now I know it's heavy, but it's a really interesting one, and we were kind of talking about this off camera because it's rear wheel drive. So you're being pushed from behind, which generally can be a bit frightening, but it's got good grip.
It squats down and pushes on really. But I think that's kind of good, because we used to have big fat engines out over the front wheels, and then rear wheel drive was loose because there's no weight over the wheels. But now all the weight's in the bottom of the car, towards the middle of the car. It doesn't necessarily feel like a complete rear wheel drive. It doesn't feel like you're out of control. It feels like it's got power, but it squats down and goes.
It really does, and it's very light handling wise. Now I don't know if you heard when you were talking there, I was getting a warning sign up. So it's got, like a lot of cars, all the bells and whistles in terms of lane assist and adaptive cruise control, but I find that we're getting to a point where the lane assist is too good. And so yesterday I drove it on the M50, the N11, big comfortable roads, and it was fantastic. But now we're on a skinny little windy road, and because of how vast the EV6 is, I have to go past the lines, and then it just basically starts beeping at me. And so you can turn it off, and it takes about 10 seconds to be fair, so it's very, very easy. But it's one thing I definitely have noticed.
Those little safety systems can become very naggy after a while. Particularly on a road like this, where there's a good solid white line here for a bit, and then it'll fade away further down where it just disappears and the car doesn't know what's going to happen next. So I know it's made for a certain kind of road and a certain kind of safety way, but it just doesn't necessarily work in Ireland every time.
Another thing I've really enjoyed is the augmented heads-up display here. So this is part of the GT line, which is where that extra 4,000 or 5,000 euros is going. But when you have your sat nav, it'll kind of direct you where to go, and it's very hard to pick up on camera. But
yeah, but you can see that the turn is coming up, and so far it's very cool. You have to experience it. You need to drive it first.
I would advise anyone who's looking to buy an electric car to go down to your local dealer, and I'll leave a link to those up there. There's over 1,000 DoneDeal trusted dealers around the country. But go down, test drive it, get a real sense for how the car is for you, because I think that's the best way to know if you like a car or not.
Because it's not like driving whatever car you're coming from, unless it's electric. Yeah. It's not like driving a normal car. It's totally different. You feel like you're driving something from the future.
It is. There's so much tech, and we often will be driving one new car into the next, and we take lane assist and adaptive cruise control and all these things as a given. But if you're coming from a 2012 or 13 car and you're making a big upgrade, it's going to be light years ahead, and it's going to be brilliant. It is, yeah. It's something completely different, and you're sitting in something that feels like a truck. It's so wide, and yet it's a 5-door hatchback. You know, it's become so big these days. So after a quick drive, I have to say it's gorgeous to drive. I see what you're talking about, Bob.
It's so wafty,
isn't it?
Yeah. It glides along. It's
really, really nice. Now, the size is one other thing to bear in mind, but a couple other amazing features about it. So the first one is it comes with Kia's 7-year warranty, which includes the batteries up to 150,000 kilometers. So I can sense we may see a few of these as taxis.
Yeah. And if you can get them. There's a short supply of them, you can get them all right.
Exactly, and the other thing that we have to mention is the vehicle to load thing, where you can essentially charge another person's electric car.
You can use the system so the battery can put power out and in, and on the international launch of this they had one of these outside the door that was running a projector, it was charging an electric bicycle, and they had a coffee machine running off it as well, all from the car. The car wasn't plugged into anything other than that. And they're still able to drive it, so it works perfectly.
Should have brought my coffee machine up here this morning.
Yeah, it's just a 3-pin plug in.
I know, yeah.
You can plug things into it.
It's amazing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thanks a million to Bob for joining us here today. The Kia EV6, if you'd like to search for some for sale from over 1,000 trusted dealers, you can hit the link up there. Have a good day. Subscribe to both our YouTube channel and Bob's. Give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you again.